Brothers, I don't usually give trigger warnings for videos that I do. I think that the concept in and of itself is pretty silly in most cases, but I'm going to make an exception because of the graphic nature of what we're about to talk about. This is absolutely disgusting. This is demonic. And the fact that Sweden would allow this to take place, this travesty of justice, I don't even have the words for it. And honestly, I think this is a testament to the damage that the suicidal empathy of the left can do to innocent people. So what am I talking about? Well, there was a story that came out of Sweden. Let me just read it for you. I hope you're all sitting down for this. A Swedish court has ruled that the Eritrean migrant who graped a 16-year-old girl won't be deported. Why? The grape didn't last long enough. I'm sorry, we're not going to deport this illegal foreigner because, yes, they did sexually assault you and violate you, but we don't feel that it lasted long enough to constitute deporting this person. We're gonna read the rest of it, but let me just say, these people on the left are lucky that I am not the president, because I would declare war on Sweden over this. I would put the harshest sanctions you have ever seen one nation put on another. I would absolutely cripple this country for this absolutely grotesque violation. This is a human rights abuse. You are going to allow this fucking animal to avoid being deported because he sexually assaulted her, but it wasn't long enough for you. Absolutely fucking vile. I would not lift the sanctions until you did a public execution of the judges involved and you live streamed it to the fucking world. How unbelievable is this story? How unbelievably outrageous. It wasn't long enough. What about justice? Does that not factor in at all? This girl was violated, but it wasn't long enough, and you're worried about ramifications of this particular group of people. You don't want to be called racist, so you allow the suffering of innocent people. This is the modern day left. This is all they are. This is what they are. All about optics. They don't bear any fruit. These are people that will allow innocents to suffer if they can virtue signal off of it. The grape took place on September 1st last year when Meya missed her bus and was walking through a pedestrian tunnel after finishing her shift at McDonald's. Meya and her family immediately reported it to the police. The 18-year-old Eritrean migrant named Yazid Mohammed, I don't even need to say anything, was sentenced to 3 years in prison for grape. 3 years? 3 years? And he wasn't deported. 3 years? That should be 30 years. Mohammed is a citizen of Eritrea. Why don't you deport them back? And the prosecutors sought his deportation. However, the Court of Appeals noted that the man has refugee status. Under Swedish law, deporting a refugee requires that the crime committed constitute an exceptionally serious offense. And to the Swedish court, this girl being raped was not considered a serious offense. Are you fucking kidding me? War. I would declare war on Sweden over this. I would. I would say, you are an enemy of the United States. You do not stand for civilization and law and order. You are an enemy of humanity. You are allowing a rapist to stay in the country who isn't even a citizen, and you're going to just give them a 3-year sentence, and you don't think You don't think that this is a serious crime? I will not lift the sanctions until these judges are hanged in public for all to see, and I want it live streamed. They are hanged by the neck until they stop moving, until they are dead. And I want that death verified and sent to my desk. If I'm president, that's what I'm doing. There are a lot of people that wouldn't like me as president, but that is exactly what I would do. There would be no harsher sanctions than the ones that I would put a naval blockade around the fucking entire European continent. I would set up a naval blockade on the coast. I'd make sure that any goods going to Sweden wouldn't be able to get in. I would send fucking ground troops. I don't care. It's absolutely fucking outrageous. You are allowing little girls to be violated by these fucking animals that shouldn't even be there. And you think, well, because we're such empathetic people, that this girl should have to endure that. And you only give him a 3-year sentence. He's going to do it again. You know he's going to do it again. His last name is Muhammad. This isn't some sort of surprise. However, the Court of Appeal noted that the man's refugee status constitutes an exceptionally serious crime and that allowing them to remain in Sweden would pose a serious threat to public order and safety. The rape of the 16-year-old girl was not deemed serious enough to justify the deportation, with the Court of Appeals citing, among many factors, the duration of the rape. The duration. It wasn't long enough, guys. He didn't last long enough. So, I mean, a lot of you anime convention fans, a lot of you Emeru simps, that want to go up and grab her, just get Twitch to move to Sweden. Have their conventions in Sweden. You'll be good. I mean, as long as you don't last too long, I mean, you can do whatever you want over there, apparently. How fucking evil is this? This is Satan's work. This is the work of the devil. Rape is, in many cases, considered an exceptionally serious offense that could lead to the deportation of a refugee. But an assessment must be made based on all circumstances in the individual case. No, it should be, if we're charging you with rape, you're getting deported. It doesn't matter if it's a 3-second rape. It doesn't matter if it's a 20-minute rape. If you violate a girl against her will, you're going home. This is absolutely fucking evil. How on earth how are we even having this conversation? This is so grotesque to me. On more than just like, I'm an American, she's a Swede. No, this is like a human level. The fact that she had to go through this and her family had to go through this, and this animal is being allowed to stay in the country. Sweden has some serious problems, and this needs to be solved, and it can be solved. It just requires the will to do so. But it seems that nobody has the will to do so. I hope this radicalizes Sweden in a major way, and I hope that they reform their government to actually stand up for the Swedish people instead of doing what they're doing, which is standing up for foreigners and allowing them to violate their most precious gift of their youth. The appeals court finds that while the crime is serious, it does not constitute an exceptionally serious offense that would warrant a deportation ordered for Yazid Mohammed. The request for deportation is therefore rejected, the Court of Appeal ruled. Upper Norland wrote in the ruling, and she looks like a nice, cute girl. I mean, and she was violated. And people are incensed. We killed our best men to kill Europe's best men, our brothers, so that Epstein types could make trillions and satanic drag queens can read homosexual pornography to children. You were not radicalized enough. I don't think he should be deported. True. Unbelievable. Violent assault is bad, but it's not excessively bad. So we will let the foreign rapist out in our homeland again in 2 to 3 years. Woke judge hanging by the neck until dead. This needs to be the standard. When you allow these animals out to do harm to innocent people, the judges should be held accountable. They should be made to pay for this as well. You have a situation here that is cut and dry. This person either should be executed or they should be deported. You know, deportation doesn't sound so bad after that, does it? But we live in a world where women are judges. They shouldn't be judges. But women are judges, and they make these decisions that are absolutely fucking unconscionable. They should hang for this. If we lived in a just world, these 3 judges would be hanged as traitors because they are betraying the people of Sweden. We need to redefine the word traitor. Because some people say, well, it's only treason if you're aiding a foreign nation. No, I think that treason needs to be redefined to working against your own people, whether it be for a foreign country or a foreign ideology. You are working against your own people. You are aiding these foreign invaders. Well, it may not be some organized thing. It may not be, well, this judge is fighting for the right of Eritreans to come over here. No, you are fighting for the right of these foreign people that don't belong there to do serious harm to your precious youth. And that is absolutely unconscionable. It's indefensible. It's vile. It's evil. I have had to maintain my composure over this video because I didn't want to make this a screaming, shouting video. But honestly, it took every fiber of my being not to do so. Because I am disgusted and outraged in a way that would be hard for me to articulately and logically convey. This is outrageous. This is outrageous. And honestly, before the public hanging, these women, these judges, should be stripped naked and flogged through the street. They should be walked through the street in shame. So everyone had to look at them as they're being flogged and marched to the executioner block. And then they should be hanged for the fucking world to see. You allowed this innocent girl to go through that and not have any real justice. You owe the girl an apology. You owe the people of Sweden an apology. You owe the world an apology. And Sweden, you know, everyone talks about how great Sweden is. Sweden is not great. Sweden is a conquered people. How fucking embarrassing. How absolutely fucking embarrassing. Anyway, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.